Hello everyone, Carissa here. Welcome to my channel, Wild Inside Wellness. Today is the first video in a series of vlogs that I'm going to start putting out. You'll find it under the general playlist of vlog, and the topics are going to vary and maybe not necessarily follow any kind of format, but they will generally fall under the categories of self-defense and tarot, which are the two things that I love to share about on this channel. And in this video, I'm explaining why those two topics. I think to a lot of people, they don't quite fit under the same umbrella, and yet to me they do. So I really want to explain how basically my tarot card reading practice is very much a part of my self-defense practice and why they make so much sense to me together. So please join me. Okay, so tarot card reading as self-defense. I think for some people that feels like a stretch, but I really want to come back to the self-defense that I have been taught that really resonated for me. I've been doing martial arts for almost 15 years, but I was only educated, made aware of a path to self-defense separate from martial arts in the last year and a half, and that has been through empowerment self-defense, which is very much, you could say it's a holistic approach to self-defense. It covers everything that you would find in a traditional, maybe martial arts based self-defense course, situational awareness, different types of awareness, boundary setting, and physical self-defense techniques, which are all very important. But there is another side to self-defense, which maybe just isn't as well known and doesn't get as much, what's the word I'm looking for, attention. And that is the empowerment piece. And that is where tarot comes in for me. So empowerment can look like so many different things. It's a very, very personal journey. What you find empowering, what empowers you. And for me, I think as I've gone on this journey, I said I've been practicing martial arts for almost 15 years, and I've been reading tarot cards for just a bit longer, close to 17 years. And in that time, that window of time, the past 17 years, picking up martial arts 15 years, and then continuing on until today, these two practices have been, I would say, the most transformative as far as how I experience myself, how I move through the world, but also how I experience myself internally. And that's really what empowerment is. Yes, how we move through the world, how we interact with people, the boundaries we set, but all of that needs to be preceded by, I guess the simple way to put it is self-understanding and self-knowledge. Because we can have, boundary setting practices, and you take that as far as physical self-defense, having to set a very physical, immediate boundary. And then there's boundary setting practices of verbal boundary setting. But to be able to set a boundary in a very simple way, we really need to understand what our boundaries are. And how do we do that? How do we know what our boundaries are? How do we know what we want to say yes to and invite into our lives? How do we know what we want to say no to and say, no, thank you, I don't want that in my life? And then how do we take the actual steps to make those things happen? For me, my tarot practice has been absolutely instrumental in simply understanding myself. I would say before I came to tarot reading, I was a little bit lost. I started reading tarot when I was in my early 20s, about 20 years old, and then progressively got more and more serious about it. But, I came to it with just a lot of questions, which is really why many people come to tarot, either to develop a practice for themselves or just seeking out excuse me, a professional tarot card reader, because we have questions. We have a lack of clarity, perhaps, in something that is, influencing our inner landscape, or how we are making choices in our environment, in our outer world. And we need help with that. We need support with that, because it's confusing and maybe we don't understand. And for me, that, I don't have just one thing. I don't have just one practice like tarot or self-defense that is like the thing that has, been transformational for me as far as how I move through the world and experience myself. But tarot has been right up there, top 5, I would say, of practices that I have for developing self-knowledge, how I understand myself, and how I set boundaries. And it's been, I would say that my self-defense practice, my martial arts journey, wouldn't have been what it was if it wasn't also for going on a journey with the tarot and really applying myself to that practice and committing to knowing myself. I even have one of my very first tattoo, this top one here, which is getting a little bit muddled, is know thyself. Know who you are, know what you want, and, take the steps to make it happen. Know what you don't want and take the steps to make it happen. And so tarot supports that inner journey. And for me, self-defense has really supported that outer journey. And so they balance each other really, really well. And if you're interested in tarot, please join me. I'm going to be putting out a series of tarot videos and also more vlogs kind of speaking to this self-knowledge piece, and also just topics of tarot and also topics of self-defense, and my experience of them, my just general opinion on them, which you can take or leave, just whatever you find helpful is what's most important. And I kind of want to leave off by saying that I've said, for me, tarot has been instrumental, but there are so many different practices for developing self-knowledge and understanding yourself. Another one that I love that comes and goes is journaling. And let's see, talk therapy at times in my life has been very helpful. And I would love to, if you have anything that has been instrumental for you in understanding yourself, you can leave a comment below and we could just get a list going for people to understand that there are so many different ways to know yourself. And like I said, my martial arts journey has been very helpful in setting boundaries outside of myself. But it has also been very helpful in that key piece of understanding myself even more. So thank you for joining me on this brief introduction of why I seek to weave together and join my 2 favorite practices, top 5, of self-defense and tarot, why they mean so much to me and how they have been helpful to me. And hopefully they can be helpful to you, whatever I have put out or put out in the future. I really just want it to be helpful, and please know that what is helpful for me isn't always going to be helpful for you. So again, take what helps and leave the rest, and I'll see you next time.